call, but we're going to give everybody a few extra minutes to join us here. And as soon as we have enough people, then we'll get going. Once again, thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us, and we'll be with you in just a few moments.
TRKA. They really do not want this on top of the 200. You did money. Let me ask you something. So you're saying you did good on it as in past tense, as in you don't have a position in it, right? Like you don't have a current position in it, and you just got out. I wonder if they're gonna try to just dump this on our face with the space call, and then try to buy it, if that makes sense. It's like a little, like, scare tactic. Try to cause some panic selling.
All right, guys. Well, this call is being recorded, so anybody who hasn't joined us as of yet, you'll have plenty of time to go ahead and listen back to it. If you like what you hear, you can listen back to it as many times as you want. But we're going to get started here. So we are live, coming to you from the Westgate in Las Vegas. Beautiful view that we have right now that we're looking at the window here. But we wanted to share some exciting news with you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and get this ball rolling real quick. So we have, one of the prominent members here in our community, Shad, aka Retail Rudy, and I'm going to go ahead and invite him up so he can let you guys know what we've accomplished here in our days here in Las Vegas.
Bitcoin, trying to put in that floor on the 200.
Also, we also have Daryl here, also known as the attorney, and he unfortunately doesn't have his phone here, so he will be saying a couple. It'll just be under my account, so you'll see Melicello speaking, but it'll be him eventually. But we're gonna let Shad get things started and say a few words himself. So Shad, you're up, buddy.
Thank you for that. Guys, make sure you're always checking live chat just for DD. Oh, and you sourced it? Love it. Thank you very much. SFT is now up 6. Octo's up 7. Man, oh man. Space case of a day. Backed up 8 and a quarter. 6 and a quarter on sticks. BBIG is getting very, very tight on the Bollinger Bands. That's not going to last. I mean, I don't know if it's going to break up or down, but like it is too tight. We're trying to put in higher lows here on TRKA, I think. Higher low, higher low. Yeah. For the most part. Don't worry, guys. There's just nothing going on in space right now. I'm not hearing anything. Unless they're talking and I'm gonna rejoin. Just because I didn't hear anything. No, they're just not talking.
ECB's Calvino says GDP at the start of the year has been very strong.
When they start talking, I'll shut him off too.
So apologies that that's Spain Economy Minister Calvino, who says the GDP at the start of the year has been very strong.
TRKA trying this pennant bust. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is eating supply underneath the 200 in the Sonic R. Again, BBIG's Bollinger Bands are just getting extremely tight. SPY looking to retest recent daily high of 412.11. Thank you, sir. Look at AI. You dog, you. Also, STIG is up 32%, but AI, nice little comeback. Wow, look at that trend. Talk about an algo. Oh, wait.
A lot of noise in regards of your situation here with BBIG. So one of the conversations that I had with them yesterday when I was on the phone.
Oh, why is this doing this?
Because there are big advocates in that community to gather all the information that I need to present to James O'Keefe and his team with that situation regarding GTII. And I'm also asking your community, whoever in here wants to take the lead, I could add you into that group DM chat, and let's get the information that they're seeking, right? Any documentation, any proof, anything that you want to share with his media group. That way you guys can also be centering attention throughout the whole entire retail community and also what's going on here in overall in the stock market. So please, this is really important. Once James O'Keefe and his team has eyes on it, they'll tell the BBIG story, and that's all I can do for you guys. My concentration, as you guys know, is MMTLP. But as everybody knows, I really do want to help the other retail communities. So that's all I want to leave you guys with. It's great news that they are interested in your story. So let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. All right, busy.
Thank you so much again, Busy. I'll be getting with you as well, man. So can't thank you enough, and appreciate your support for us. And we obviously reciprocated. Retail United. It's all of us against all those other scumbags. So at the end of the day, I feel confident that our side is better, and we're going to be victorious in the end. So once again, thank you so much, Busy. And let's hear from the man of the hour, Shad.
Okay. Hey, everybody.
I can't hear him.
And I want to acknowledge a lot of those people. I don't know if Muntz wanted to come up and speak. I sent you a request, but if you can't right now, I understand. A lot of people.
He's breaking in and out.
already seen, there's been a case filed in the 8th Judicial Court here in Nevada. And I'm not going to speak about the particulars. If you'd like to
Has it been on
go
BBIG?
read the motion and the declarations of the case, you're welcome to. On this call, I just wanted to let you all know about this case that's been filed. We as a community on bbigfamily.com, as well as the Twitter BBIG family and all the different groups, Reddit, Facebook, LinkedIn, there's been a cumulative effort on behalf of many people, because we haven't felt that we've been heard, and we've tried to communicate and haven't really received the response that we feel
tighter on
suitable.
TRKA as well.
I know that there's been a fundraiser set up. I've been part of that initiative. Christy and Akum and Jake and Mike, and so many people are running that fundraiser. But the biggest question a lot of people have had is, in the past, like, who did you retain as a lawyer? Who are you going to retain? And I want to explain about that right now. So as we were looking into the options available to us with regards to the type of case, the evidence available, the types of specialties with attorneys within civil and securities, there's a lot of different variables. There's different jurisdictions. We have Nevada, we have New York, we have capacity, we have conflicts. So
I wish you wouldn't cut in and out. Kind of stinks.
get a yes or no answer. It doesn't work that way.
It's not my connection, guys. I promise.
In the beginning, several months ago, we are actually, before even the fundraiser was set up, we were talking to people to just see what options were available, because we felt that there was a case. Thought would be a suitable marriage of relationships with regards. When we got to the point where we did the fundraiser, it was because we had an attorney who could specifically take our case with regards to board nomination type
C3AI
criteria.
about to go?
And that
Bitcoin
attorney had
probably
a
as well?
retainer of $25,000. And so that was why we started the fundraiser. It wasn't within a day that he said, wait a second, I can't do this. I don't have the proper jurisdiction in both New York and Nevada. And so our hopes were diminished quickly. And so we kept looking around at the different options, both different strategies, guys. Like we were looking at, South Florida court where, there's been an indictment down there. And we're looking at New York where we have a headquarters. We're looking at Nevada where we have an incorporation of Vinco Ventures. And at the end of the day, to find the appropriate counsel that could work quickly for what we believe would be suitable resolution for our goals, there wasn't anyone that could move as fast as we needed. And to put this into perspective, some people are saying it could take 3 weeks to a month to get up to speed on this case. So knowing that we have a lot of experts in the community, not only with technical analysis and trading, but we have a lot of people in the community who have done a considerable amount of due diligence with regards to the history. And so we decided that we would file a case pro per, meaning we would file it on our own, and that we would fight it on our own. And we have some members of the community who
Heads up on BBIG.
have also have an expertise in law, and we've been able to, solicit and curate those talents. Daryl's on the call. He has some skill sets in that area, very, very, very well versed. And as you all know, Patrick as well, who's out in the Carolinas, who helped do the nomination previously. So the only way with the time frame we had available was for us to just go for it on our own. So I talked to my wife because I knew this was going to cost money. And I said, you know what, honey, I don't want to take any of this money from the fundraiser because there's a lot of people who think it's fraudulent, who don't have a personal relationship with me, who don't know me. And I said, I think for us to mitigate the liability, we should just fund this on our own. And she was in 100% agreement on that. And so kudos to my wife, Jen, for being willing to spend our money.
Go, Jen.
To fly people out to here to Nevada and take care of the expenses. I mean, just so you know, it's like we had to print 2,000 pages and make 8 copies. Just the printing and the shipping of the FedEx was like $1,200 yesterday. So, not to mention the court filings and all the other stuff and the hotel rooms and food and blah blah blah. But the point is, I'm not trying to make a point of how much money we're spending. Just trying to make a point that there was liability for me to take money from the fundraiser. By not taking money from the fundraiser until we actually had a licensed attorney retained, it was making it safer for me and my family. Now those funds are still there. We can refund them at any time. At this point, we can just hold the funds until we decide that it's the right moment to use them because this case could
go ahead,
go on
baby,
here
blast
in
that.
Nevada. So I'm now a plaintiff. Christopher Muntz is a plaintiff, and Daryl Jennis is a plaintiff. If you look up the case, I'm not going to get into the details of the case. Like I told you, you can look it all up there, see all the plaintiff names and information and the declarations, affidavits, motions, and the order that we submitted to the judge. Now it's just a waiting game. But I wanted to give you that background. We couldn't give you that background prior to now because we didn't want to put too much information out into the community. It's a real challenge to be transparent with all of you, our BBIG family, but also, understand that we're going to be in a contest against people who have a lot of money, our money, and they're going to use our money to potentially, battle. So that's the essence of it. That's an explanation of it. So I'm really excited. If I didn't think there was a case, I wouldn't have filed the case, but I'm not going to speculate on the results or the outcome or what the judge or the court might do. We're going to just let that play out legally. I would defer now to Daryl, who's another plaintiff who's also been a practicing lawyer in the past in California. So I'll turn it over to Daryl to speak.
Thanks. Good morning to everybody, or afternoon, depending on where you are, what time zone. My name is Daryl Jennis. Normally I appear under the Twitter account of Exclusive DUI Defense, Inc. And I just wanted to say a couple things for everybody because, Shad's covered the basics as far as the fundraiser and all of that. Here's what we've been up against because Shad has been working tirelessly organizing all of this for at least and a half, probably longer than that. And there's a group of people that he's worked with that probably numbers of 35 people. And everybody has a unique contribution. Some people, like Chad said, have good basis of due diligence on certain subjects, but not others. And others have areas of expertise on
delegation
different subjects.
Is important.
And many of those people wrote declarations. Shad's been a heck of a great team captain. I mean, the way he's organized the talent in our community and delegated duties and kept things moving. I've seen it because I've been part of the team, and I'm one of the guys that he occasionally, taps on the shoulder or kicks in the butt, as the case may be. Is getting
tighter and tighter. I think it's going to continue to do so. He just keeps us
moving forward. So one of the tasks that we were engaged in was find a lawyer, and I felt that I brought a good skill set to interviewing lawyers, and Shad and Patrick and I interviewed collectively as a team at least 5 or 6 lawyers so far. When we got deep, what became clear to me was that most lawyers are very limited in their thinking. They're not creative, they're not entrepreneurial, and they really don't like things that are unfamiliar. So as soon as you present them with something that is outside of their wheelhouse, even a little bit, they tend to shut down. lot of lawyers don't like is they want to be too knowledgeable and to be too directive because they feel like they might lose control. And here are a couple of guys, me and another lawyer, and Shad, who's a businessman and has an entrepreneurial background, and we're taking
BBIG?
control of these lawyers right from the start in terms of fees. Because one of the very first interviews we did, the lawyer was keen to catch on that we're talking about roughly 1,400 people that have joined this big family community that Shad started, and that the investors'
ripped.
positions are some not that big, some very big, and ultimately we're talking about a huge amount of money.
Wow.
So one individual investor alone might have $500,000 originally sunk into this thing, and it's 95% down. What the lawyers were hearing was that they could charge whatever they wanted, and that we would have the money because of the numbers that were involved, both in terms of the volume of people and the dollar amounts. And what we needed to do was to tell them, no, these people are losing 95 to 99% of their investment, and many of them literally
Bitcoin?
Don't have enough dime to put.
Look how tight the Bollinger Bands are.
We weren't finding lawyers that were going to be reasonable on their fees. Finding that even the lawyers that were willing to work with us, their earning curve time wouldn't fit our timeline. We got a meeting that we needed to try to stop that's
BBIG,
coming up
super
literally
turned up.
in 2 weeks. And all the lawyers we were talking to wanted 4 to 6 weeks just to come up to speed. And they wanted $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to compensate for us educating them. And that's when I told Shad, look, I'm not licensed in Nevada, and I'm not a corporate attorney or the type of lawyer that does this sort of stuff, but I've been in that world for 45 years,
Cosmo and Green.
And I'm a fast study. And so if we can't get somebody who's already up to speed and do it for cost effective, then I'll do it pro per and get a couple of other people like Shad and Muntz, and we'll cobble it together and we'll do it. And so Shad paid, after talking to his wife and I believe praying on it, decided that they were going to fund it because I didn't have the money to come out here to Las Vegas to work. Shad paid my ticket out here. Shad paid my hotel out here. He offered to pay me for my time. I have a dog.
Yo, Shad is a
and
G.
I'm not acting as a lawyer.
I didn't know any
for
of this.
Of you. I'm acting as a lawyer
he's a
for
G.
myself. What I bring to the table here is that if any of us has to speak, I live in that world. I am good at thinking on my feet and advocating in court. And since I'm a plaintiff, I don't need to be licensed in the state of Nevada in order to have that forum and speak to the court. And the other plaintiffs, like Shad, like Muntz, or if anybody else were to join us, they can simply say to the judge, I agree with
you're about to get a gold cross on the
co-plaintiff,
4
Mr.
hour.
Janus, and
TA
I
does
have
work,
nothing
you're
further
right.
to add. Or I agree with what he has to say, and I have this other point to add. And it makes the advocacy go as good as, or at least almost as good as it would if we were able to find a lawyer who was able to get up to speed and able to articulate this stuff and able to do it at a fee that would be reasonable.
CXAI 212% up.
What we're trying to do, and I think we are making good
See, I just don't want to. I don't want to chart it because like,
Nevada,
I don't want to chase it.
Judge Williams was very familiar with this case, and we all have opinions about what happened and whether it was neutral and detached or whether it was somehow the fix was in and it was nefarious. I choose to believe that it was not nefarious. There was no fix, and that the judge was ultimately deceived.
413.47 is Spy's next resistance.
So anyway, bottom line is we're in that court. We are not in front of Judge Williams presently. We got assigned randomly, as they always do, and we got a different judge. The case may or may not go back to Judge Williams. That's in the court's hands. The papers are all filed.
TRK.
Because I'm not familiar with Nevada court, I used the
Eating
Colucci lawsuit
supply
as
underneath.
a model. It didn't fit my expectations as to what I would have expected to find in every respect, but I went with it as a model. It turned out that the judge thinks more the way I do, because she was looking for a document that I was looking for that neither of us found. And the reason she didn't find it is because I didn't find it. So they asked us basically to provide that missing document. And this morning, we manufactured that document from other pleadings that we had and the knowledge that we have, and we got it filed. And we got it into the court. And we've been monitoring the court's responses to our various correspondences, and there's two different mechanisms depending on what we're
Google
doing.
tapped
One is
108.
through
Thank
the
you.
clerk's office and electronic filing, and the other is emailing directly into the court. You don't need to know the details about which one's appropriate for what situation, but know this: we've done everything that we can. And when the clerk responds in either of those platforms, whether it's on the online court filing or whether the clerk emails us with
Yeah, and
further
those are
directives,
details we can, you know.
then we'll know and we'll be able to update you. But I'm looking
Mycroft?
at Chad's computer right now, and there are no messages yet, so there's no further information for us to give. I'm not going to talk about the merits of the case right now. That's not why we're on this call. We're on this call to let the community know that even those who thought that we were not doing anything because they weren't getting the communication, we were
I wonder if
working
they're gonna
very
try to
hard.
push this
A
down
lot
now
of
off
us were,
that.
and from many different places around the country, and
It'd be kind of
several
screwed
of
up if
us
they did.
physically traveling here to Las Vegas and physically going to the courthouse each day, and not really doing much else. And while we're here, and this is all so far on Shad's time, we're not going out for steak dinners and spending the kind of money that Ted was
And that
spending at
doesn't matter,
EDC last year.
because
No, we're working hard for the community, and we won't.
no one's paying for this is the bottom line. And so, anybody could have chose to go pro per and plead a case against any party at any time, but we felt this was the fastest way to try and get some results. Otherwise, we may not have. This was the only choice that I saw available to us. And I just want to say, maybe in wrap up, Daryl, if that's okay. I personally want to thank Daryl and Patrick, who both
I wanna
have
thank
legal
Shad.
expertise and who have spent,
That's who I
oh
want to
my
thank.
gosh, hundreds of hours working on this. And I want to thank months.
Like out of his own pocket, he paid
and
for a
Daryl
guy, for a
for
lawyer,
being willing
to
to put their names as
go to
plaintiffs on
Vegas
this
like
case.
that and
And I
pay
want
for
to thank
hotels and stuff. Like that's
Akum,
big.
who you'll see his name. It's not Akum on there anymore,
Shout out
but
to
you're
him.
going to see his real name. And Chris C. Sparacio and Austin and Chris and myself. And there's one more name I'm missing here as a declarant. Who was that? Let's see. Oh, Mike Miziker, M. Miziker. So you're going to see there's 6 declarations as affidavits, and 4 of those people are not the plaintiffs. And I want to personally thank them for all their work. And then I want to thank Christy. She's been taking a lot of heat from people for having her name on the fundraiser, but she is an honest person. Not one dime of that fundraiser has been touched yet. Hopefully we can use it when the time comes. And I want to thank, I see Jake and Mike right there, and Wicked. They've been doing a lot of space calls. I want to thank Business and Stomping Llama and a lot of people who've helped with due diligence, and then many other people who you don't know who have been willing to do all kinds of research. We have literally thousands of hours, man hours of research to build
A
this
lot
case.
of hours.
And you're going to see it in those 1,700 pages of documents when you go look at the case. And I hope, and pray that we make progress, because at the end of the day, we're not trying to hurt anybody. We're
Eating
just
supply
trying
on
to
TRK.
get our investment to work for
Bitcoin
us.
trying up at trend.
And at the end of the day,
Annual
if we
support
can
resistance.
get Vinco to be successful, then I would say that we have won. That's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to hurt our company or our investment. We're trying to make it successful. So that's all I'm going to say. We're not going to be able to answer any questions on this call. And certainly as a plaintiff, I'm not going to be able to get into speculating on any details from now on here on out. But whatever updates we can give you, we will. And I want to thank Mello for being here in Las Vegas with us and taking the time to support and to host this call. And with that, Mello, I'll turn it back to you.
Yeah, again, thank you, Shad. Thank you, Daryl, and thank you to everybody who's been a part of this movement.
Thank you,
moment.
Tim.
Proud moment
Thank you,
because
Tim.
it takes a lot to
You
get
know
to
who
where
you
we
are.
and it's not over yet. But they probably didn't think we were going to get this far. So we're coming for him, and we'll see him in court soon. And it's going to be great to have the community behind us, and let's take care of business. But yeah, going forward, just know that everybody's fighting for everybody else in the community, and if things aren't explained, in detail, there's a reason for that. You don't want to give your playbook to the opponent. Same thing in this kind of situation. So we want to make sure at the end of the day that we're doing everything and we're putting ourselves in the best position to be successful. So again, thank you so much for everybody and everybody's support. And yeah, let's fucking win it. I'm sure we'll be talking soon. I know myself and Mr. Rick got a space call set up for later this evening. So hope to catch you guys there as well. We've got some more news coming there, and you never know what's coming. So keep your eyes tuned. I'm hearing rumors that there's another big announcement coming, not having to do with any of us particularly, but having to do with the company. So just keep your eyes out to what else is coming.
Yeah, guys,
we'll
definitely
talk
do
again
that.
later this evening. Thank you again to everybody for taking the time.
Thanks, Mello.
And
Does that space end? Oh, okay. I guess I ended the space. Please like and sub BBIG fam. And I'm live every day. Later.